Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AME, where we're doing interviews with some amazing women in manufacturing. Today, I am with Dana with FMA, who heads this really interesting organization and really a whole movement called Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs. So we're really excited to hear about this. So, Dana, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into manufacturing.
Thank you for the introduction. I work for Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs, who is the foundation of FMA, Fabricators and Manufacturers Association. And basically, our goal is to support people in discovering an interest in manufacturing and pursuing manufacturing careers. So we have a couple programs that do that. We have a summer manufacturing camp program. We have a scholarship program. And then our two newest programs, we have an inclusion camp program for young adults with disabilities to get them into manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's in its infancy. We're in the third year of inclusion camps.
Wow.
So it's growing. We're in our 19th year of summer manufacturing camps, and our scholarship program is going strong. And we just started our pilot submarine camp this year.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, that has to be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. So you guys got a lot going on. So before we kind of dive into each one of those categories and the things that you guys are offering, what about you? How did you get into the manufacturing space?
So I fell into the manufacturing space when I met our director, Ed Durnell. He's so passionate about the camps and getting young students involved in manufacturing at an early age that his passion is contagious.
Yeah.
So I've been at NVT for about 5 years, and I love it. I love working with the programs, the schools, the young kids. We get out to as many camps as we can visit in a summer.
Okay.
We're supporting over 300 camps this year.
Oh my gosh.
Across 29 states. Yeah. So while we can't make it to every camp, we make every effort to get to as many as possible. So we divide and conquer and visit as many camps as we can.
And so prior to these 5 years of you being involved with Nuts and Bolts and Thingamajigs, what were you doing prior to that?
You know what? I was in the trade show industry, actually, selling exhibit space for a dermatologic society.
No way. I didn't even know that they had trade shows for that.
Yep.
That makes sense. I mean, I think I want to go to one of those. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so you were in that kind of space. Were you like designing floor plans and doing things like that, or booking spaces?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very similar to what Joni's doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Selling exhibit space and setting up the show, working with industry in the dermatology space.
That's neat. So was your passion kind of always on the sales side, and that's kind of how you got into the trade show stuff?
Yeah, I think you can say that.
Okay.
And, but now I love working with the schools. It's so great to see how passionate the instructors are about what they do and about sharing their knowledge with the upcoming generation. It's all about the next generation and making sure they're prepared and creating the next generation workforce for today's manufacturers, which has been elusive.
I have a podcast totally on the side. It's called Manufacturing Muscle, and this is kind of one of the things that I talk about a lot, and so I'm really excited to talk with you because there is that gap, right? Like we had post-World War II in like the early 90s or even into the late 90s, we had this like surge of obviously manufacturing jobs and everybody's in the workforce, and then it was like, and never mind, nobody's in the workforce anymore. And then people kept telling me, and I would love your insight on this, people kept telling me kids don't want to get into manufacturing because they think it's dirty. And in my mind, I was like, I coach gymnastics and cheerleading. These kids don't even know what manufacturing is. Like, they know what an iPhone is, but they have no idea that that was manufactured, right? I feel like it was their parents that had the perception of it being dirty. So then, in return, the kids have no idea what manufacturing even is.
Exactly.
Do you experience that in your...
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that was another reason we created the camp program, to change perceptions.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. Manufacturing is not the dark, dirty industry it once was. I mean, there's so much cool automation and robotics. Our camp programs reach the parents as well. A lot of the camps have on the final day, they might have the students do presentations where they invite the parents, grandparents, people my age. Think of manufacturing as dark and dirty. So we're all about changing perceptions, and they can see what goes on. At each of the camps, we suggest they go on a plant tour. Wow. So the students can see for themselves. This would be what it would be like to work in manufacturing. It's not dark and dirty. Most of them you can eat off the floor.
Yeah, right. Some places they're so clean, especially some of these medical facilities.
Yeah.
They're crazy. I'm like, how do you guys even keep it this clean? It's cleaner than my house. I mean, it's got embarrassing for me, but whatever. But with the, I think changing the perception of parents is pretty important. Is there kind of like, say there's some parents listening to this, and I even know some people that are in the trades that are like, oh, I don't even want my kid to be in the trades because it may be something that I experience. What's kind of your advice? What do you guys push? What does FMA push to the parents about the manufacturing industry to try to mold that perception into something that's a little bit more real with what's happening today?
I think it's important to just expose the kids to everything. Not every student is built for a 4-year college or university. So just to give them exposure to what's out there, because many of them don't know these opportunities exist. There are very lucrative manufacturing careers, welding careers that don't require 4 years of school debt. So it's just all about the exposure, and then the student can decide for themselves. Our welding camps are so popular.
I can't wait to talk about these camps. Yeah.
We do have the camps, have every student fill out a pre-camp survey on the first day of camp.
Okay.
That basically we ask them questions like, what do you think about manufacturing? Would you consider a manufacturing career? What do you think this camp is going to be about? And then on the last day of camp, they do another survey to say, hey, what did you like about the camp? Would you actually consider working in manufacturing? And all of the students in the welding camp say, I loved welding. And they say, what would you change about the camp? More welding.
You're kidding me.
What would you do different? More welding. So they love welding, actually. But the camps range everything from welding, again, to robotics, to coding, to CNC machining.
Yeah.
Manufacturing encompasses a wide variety of skills and knowledge.
So let's talk about these camps. Do you guys put them on yourselves, or do you guys go to camps? How does the process work on getting your organization to run a camp?
So we connect with the schools. So we provide grant funding to schools to host the camps. So they can be high schools, colleges, community colleges, technical schools, universities. It's a wide range of schools that host the camps. So we provide the grant funding. The school provides the instructor, the location, of course. So it's really whatever type of facilities they have that dictates the focus of the camp. If they have a welding program, and then they can host a welding camp.
Very good.
Some high schools may not have welding, but they might have, robotics or
CNC.
Yeah, a wide variety. So it's really dictated by the school. So we give them, in addition to grant funding, we give them an entrepreneurship curriculum. So it exposes the students not only to making and manufacturing, but also designing a product. So from really beginning to end, the students are exposed to everything involved in manufacturing.
Very neat. Very neat.
We give them a free 365-day student license to SolidWorks CAD software.
Yeah, the CAD software, yeah.
Yep, some of the camps use it, some of them don't, but it's an option for them. We give them marketing materials to help promote their camp.
Very good.
One important benefit of the camp grant program is custom t-shirts.
Listen, I love a good t-shirt. So do the kids, right?
Right. So the campers love the t-shirts, and it gives the schools an opportunity to recognize any local companies and manufacturers that have been involved.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
They put them on the shirt.
Right. We put their logos on the back of the shirt. Yep. And again, the manufacturers are usually happy to participate.
Yeah.
Because they understand this is their future workforce.
It really is. And so now, I know you mentioned, so the schools provide the location and they have a teacher. Do you guys bring anybody in to run these camps, or is it really run by the staff at the school?
It's really run by the staff at the school.
That's neat.
I do know actually a couple camps in Michigan that utilize shop rats. To help instruct.
Yeah.
But otherwise, typically the instructors come from the school itself.
Very cool. I'm connected with a couple teachers in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and they are always like, listen, we don't know manufacturing. We want you guys to help us. But I do feel like there's a really important piece, like how you're saying, like giving them that information, because teachers are good at teaching. So if you give them that information and they learn it, like they probably teach it so well. So I think that's really neat that you guys do that. Like give the teacher the opportunity to learn the material.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because we do have some camps that are basically teach the trainer, so that are geared towards teachers. There's a camp in Mississippi that is strictly for teachers. They run the same camp for students that they run for teachers, so that other teachers in the school can learn and then share this when they go back to class with their students, and get more kids interested.
So let's talk about this inclusive program. I think that's really neat. There was one thing, not to get too much into my background, but I think I mentioned earlier I coached cheerleading and gymnastics, and a long time ago we used to have an inclusive program, and we called it the Sparkle Team for cheerleading, where we would have the kids come in and we would help them learn routines, and we'd do the routines with them, and it was so much fun to be able to give somebody an opportunity that they may have not have had before. And so I think that's really neat that you guys are doing that. When did you guys start that, and you want to talk a little bit about how that came to fruition?
So we got a grant from Mitsubishi Electric Foundation, I believe, right when COVID hit. Our pilot camp started in 2022.
Okay.
So we had actually 2 inclusion camps that summer. The inclusion camps are a little bit different. They're typically 4 to 6 weeks long.
Okay.
And they teach soft skills and hard skills. Always a manufacturer is involved, and then typically a organization where the young adults with disabilities that have maybe they're too old for school.
Okay.
And they need the next step. They want to be contributing members of society.
Yeah.
They want to work, and they can be your most loyal employee, you know, if they're given a chance, and the training and the opportunity. So they're taught soft skills such as like interviewing or how to talk to your coworker at lunch. And then the hard skills, they work with companies that actually put them in the job to train them on the job.
Way.
We have an inclusion camp at VPI in Wisconsin, which was formerly Valley Packaging. Now they go by VPI. So they would be on the line packaging next to workers that don't have disabilities, you know, and integrate it into the system. They're a viable population that could be employed immediately. So the goal of the inclusion camps is employment after the camp. So they go to this camp for 4 to 6 weeks, and then ideally they get a job at maybe one of the manufacturers they trained at, right?
That's neat because it gives them right into that pathway, gets the manufacturer involved right away. And so now with your other camps, tell us about the length of the camps, like the non-inclusion camps, the length and kind of the end goal of those. Are they for employment or just kind of continuous interest in manufacturing?
The traditional camps are just to hopefully spark an interest in the students. They're targeted to 12 to 16-year-old students.
Okay.
So hopefully they spark an interest in that student to pursue a manufacturing career. Middle school age is ideal to catch them before they've decided what career path they want to choose, because, you know, the camps can help influence their decisions. So then possibly they know what classes to take in high school, STEM classes, and then maybe they go back to enroll ideally in that school where they went to camp in middle school, right?
Wow, neat.
Because now they're aware of the programs that school offers.
Yeah.
And then ideally, they go to work for one of the manufacturers where they went on a plant tour. So it comes full circle, the idea to get those students interested at a young age.
I know you kind of hit on it a little bit, but just the importance of catching the kids when they're young. Why don't you touch on that a little bit? Because I feel like a lot of times you might get asked in second grade, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, an astronaut. Like, okay. And then you go to high school, they're putting these tests in front of you, telling you that you need to, you know, they only give you 5 jobs that you might be good at, and you're like, what's going on here? Where do you think the importance is, like, really bringing in the manufacturing and the STEM fields when the kids are a lot younger?
We conducted in 2020 a program impact study that really analyzed our camp program so that we could show our donors and manufacturers that, hey, this really is working. They pinpointed that ideal age. Middle school is ideal. Before they've entered high school and decided to take home ec, they might want to take shop class. Yeah. We do have some all-girl camps that are focused at getting girls interested. You know, that might be intimidated by a co-ed camp, so it gets the girls, gives them an opportunity to get in.
That is neat.
At a young age. The program impact study you can find on our website. It's about a 20-page study, but it did show the benefits. So it analyzed all those camp surveys that I talked about, data from the students, from the schools, from the manufacturers that have been involved in camps for many years. And basically, it proves that the camps are working. More students are going into manufacturing, and reaching them at that young age is key. From 12 to 16 is the sweet spot.
So let me ask you something. From working on the coaching side, when I started coaching in like mommy and me classes, kids were able to like hold on to bars, and they were like picking up toys and putting them places. The activities that we would have them do at class, they were picking up on them very quickly. Then we kind of went through this period maybe for like a good 4 years where kids couldn't hold on to a bar anymore. They were not walking over the stones or being able to pick up and move things. A couple years later, you see them with phones in their hands and their little the iPads and all that stuff. And then now we're kind of seeing it come back where like these kids seem to be a little bit more like physically advanced again. And I know it seems unrelated, but the reason I bring it up is because someone had told me in an interview that I did maybe about last year about they were like, when I was growing up, I was hands-on with things. I was able to grab onto things and swing on the monkey bars, and I wanted to build things. I wanted to build an igloo when it was snowing.
Yes.
And that kind of started the process thinking of wanting to build, wanting to create something. She was like, kids don't really do that nowadays. And she was saying that's why she feels people aren't really into manufacturing anymore, because they're more on their phones instead of physically active or wanting to build and create things. Do you see that at all with some of the kids that are coming through at that middle school age?
You bring up a great point, and that's why the camps are so important.
Yeah.
Because every camp has the student make a project and take it home. So they're making a project with their hands. Whether it's building a robot, it might be, again, building a lamp. In our booth, we have some sample projects.
Okay, I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, you have to come over and see. Whatever they're building, their phones are put away, and they're focusing on building that project every single day. They design it, build it, take it home.
Yeah.
I think the hands-on aspect is so important, and that's why the camps are so important.
For sure.
They might be coding on a computer.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which, and then in that case, they're so technologically advanced. A lot of these kids, like the coding and program on a CNC looks like their iPad, and they pick it up so quickly. And I'm like, how are you doing that?
Absolutely.
There's like pluses and minuses, but they are so technologically advanced. So you guys bringing in that hands-on aspect is like key.
That's the key. So yeah, every camp makes a project and takes it home.
That is fantastic. What is kind of your goal at the end of the day, getting people into manufacturing, and how do you plan, and how does FMA and Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs plan to continue to expand your guys' reach?
Our main goal is just to support individuals in discovering an interest in manufacturing and exposing them to things they've never been exposed to. It'll spark an interest. So, or a student might find out, hey, this isn't for me, I'm not a welder, which is okay too, but they've had exposure.
Yeah.
Ideally, the camps are sparking an interest and getting them interested in manufacturing, which our program impact study did show.
Great.
We are trying to connect with schools all across the country. We have over 300 camps we're supporting in 29 states. Last year, we supported 222 camps in 28 states. So every year, we're growing and growing. Yes, just in the last 5 years. In 2019, we had 125 camps.
Wow.
I mean, so we are growing. We are here to make connections with schools.
Yeah.
So that's critical for us to get into those schools, to let them know, hey, we want to support you. A lot of the schools are hosting camps. We want to support them and help them be successful, help them get more students interested in manufacturing. Anything we can do to support them, funding, making connections with local manufacturers. We definitely want to be across every state. We want to keep growing with all of our programs. We're looking into after-school programs.
Fantastic.
We're trying to keep an open mind and keep all our options, always looking for ways to get more youth interested in manufacturing.
That is awesome. Lastly, if there is somebody listening that either is an educator or maybe they're a manufacturer that wants to donate, how can they contact FMA to get involved in this push you guys have going on?
Yep, definitely go to our website, which is fmamfg.org. And you'll find our foundation on the website. I should also mention our scholarship program as well.
Yeah.
So for those students who have already decided, hey, I want to pursue a manufacturing career, we do give scholarships twice a year for the spring and fall semesters.
Awesome.
For fall 2024 semester, we gave away 60 scholarships.
No way.
At $2,000 each. It can make a huge difference in someone pursuing manufacturing. We want to support them as well, because that's our most immediate solution, students going right into
the field. Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, Dana, thank you so much for being with us. If you guys have any questions for Dana and what they are doing at FMA and Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs, please reach out to their team at their website, and let's keep making manufacturing a big push in America and getting these younger kids involved. Dana, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next interview.